Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the graduation program for the 419th class of the School of Police Staff and Command, conducted by Northwestern University Center for Public Safety. My name is Tom Wilson, and I had the distinct privilege to serve as this class's course director. On July 24th, 29 law enforcement professionals met at the Tennessee Highway Patrol Training Academy for their first class. These 29 officers represented a variety of law enforcement organizations. As course director, I was there to meet all of the students as they arrived. I found them all to be sincere and cordial in their approach to the program. I also saw in each of them a slight degree of trepidation and an immediate understanding that they would be undertaking a training program unlike any they have had before. I also saw something else in their faces, and that was determination. Determination to apply themselves 100% to the program, not only for their departments, their profession, but most importantly, themselves as leaders in law enforcement. During the orientation, the students received most of the materials that was necessary for completion. That included textbooks, volumes of information, study, reading assignments. They learned about the schedule of topics, instructors, exams, and projects that they were responsible for. Those 10 weeks are now over. Each of the 29 officers has successfully completed all of the requirements of the program, and we are gathered here to honor and celebrate that success. Today, they all become part of an elite group of leaders and managers as they become graduates of the School of Police Staff and Command. The members have gathered outside the entrance to this room, and at this time, I will ask them to enter. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 419th class of the School of Police Staff and Command. Today, to post the colors are members of the Tennessee Highway Patrol and Metropolitan Nashville Police Department. Honor Guard, please post the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, Audra Cherry of the Goodlettsville Police Department will now honor Americans singing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, that was a joint honor guard by the Tennessee Highway Patrol and the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department. Again, Audra Cherry with our national anthem, and I'd like to recognize Nathan Dugan from the Nashville Police Department with the bagpipes. Thank you. It is my pleasure to welcome Nathan Hall, who will deliver our invocation.
Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for this day, the wonderful weather we've had. We ask you to watch over this class, Lord. Give them guidance and grant them safety on the travels home, them and their families. We ask you to be with the hurricane victims in Puerto Rico, also the ones from Harvey and Irma. Lord, thank you that we have this profession, that we're not only judged on duty but off duty. Thank you for each of these classmates that want nothing but for the best of their agency on their minds. Forgive us for our many sins, Lord. Forgive us where we fail you. Thank you most of all for sending your son, Jesus. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. I'd like to introduce the person sitting at the head table. Starting at my far left is Lieutenant Colonel Tony Barham from the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Next, we have Michelle Camden. She is the Assistant Director at the Center for Public Safety. Next to Michelle is Colonel Tracy Trott from the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Our keynote speaker today is Chief Superintendent Retired Robert M. Bruce from the Ontario Provincial Police. To my right is our class president, Vincent Torosi, our class vice president, Scott Russell, and Captain Robert Bigham from the training division. We are going to pause at this time to enjoy our meal. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as we're finishing our meal, I'd like to take a moment to introduce some of the heads of the agencies that are with us today. In many cases, it was because of these individuals that allowed our students to attend. When I call your name, would you please stand to be recognized? From the Murfreesboro Police Department, Deputy Chief Mike Bowen. From the Tennessee Highway Patrol, Colonel Tracy Trott. From the Department of Safety and Homeland Security, Deputy Commissioner Rick Shipkowski. From the Missouri State Highway Patrol, Colonel Sandra Costin and Senator Kiki Curls. From the Greenville Police Department, Chief Terry Cannon. Thank you, Chief. From the Goodlettsville Police Department, Chief Gary Goodwin. From the Arkansas State Police, Lieutenant Colonel Sean Garner. From the Nashville International Airport Department of Public Safety, Captain Chris Schuff and Captain Thomas Quarles. From the Clarksville Police Department, Chief Alonzo Ansley. From the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office, Major Steve Spence. From the Metro Nashville Police Department, Chief Stephen Anderson. Thank you for joining us today. At this time, I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker. Chief Superintendent Robert M. Bruce has been a member of the Ontario Provincial Police since 1982. Over the course of his 33-year career, he has integrated and inspired innovation, creativity, leadership, accountability, and a vision to members under his command, as well as his personal life as a coach and mentor. Chief Bruce has progressively moved through the command structure, working tirelessly throughout his career to ingrain and embed a culture of pride, selflessness, and a standard of excellence. As the former commander of the Field Support Bureau, Chief Bruce was responsible for 330 uniformed and civilian members, as well as 900 auxiliary. He oversaw all major events and provincial protests for the OPP, such as the G8, the Pan Am Games. He was responsible for leading highly skilled units, such as Tactics and Rescue Unit, Emergency Response Team, Underwater Search and Recovery, Explosive Disposal, Aviation Services, Canine Incident Command, Urban Search and Rescue, Chemical, Biological, Radiological, and Nuclear Response Teams. A proven leader, he has served as the commander of the Security Bureau, which is directly responsible for ensuring the safety and security of high-ranking foreign and domestic government officials, including the Premier and Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. He has also served as the director of Provincial Police Academy. He developed cutting-edge training and methodologies which transformed the Academy into a center of policing excellence. The Academy provides critical training for over 6,000 members of the OPP, as well as police agencies throughout North America. He is the recipient of many commendations and awards, and it's a pleasure to introduce today as our keynote speaker, Chief Superintendent Robert M. Bruce.
Thank you, Tom. When at some future date, the High Court of History sits in judgment of each of us, recording whether in our brief span of service we fulfilled our responsibilities to the state, our success or failure in whatever office we hold will be measured by the answer to 4 questions. Firstly, were we truly men and women of courage? Secondly, were we truly men and women of judgment? Thirdly, were we truly men and women of integrity? And finally, were we truly men and women of dedication? John F. Kennedy. Good afternoon, honored guests, fellow law enforcement colleagues, family, friends, and especially the members of Class 419 of the Northwestern University School of Police Staff and Command. Thank you for allowing me the distinct privilege and honor of being here to share this special occasion with you today. The successful completion of the past 10 weeks of intensive training is just one more accomplishment on your leadership journey. Thank you for the very kind introduction, Tom. Just some quick background on my former agency, the Ontario Provincial Police. We serve as the equivalent of the state police. At last count, we had 8,000 members, 7,000 uniform, and about 1,200 civilian members. We serve over 13 million people and patrol over 800,000 square miles of land, 90,000 square miles of waterways, 16,000 miles of highways. It's a shorter trip from where I live at General Headquarters in Orillia to go to Miami, Florida, than to Northern Ontario. And believe me, it's a much nicer, warmer trip to Florida. As I reviewed your course schedule, it reminded me of my 12-week command school back in the J. The theories and academics of leadership haven't changed all that much. The execution of the action of leadership knows no borders or boundaries. Command leadership is command leadership. The luxury you had that I didn't was being able to have such a diverse class of law enforcement members attending from some of the finest agencies in the state of Tennessee and the entire country. The Ontario Provincial Police partnered with several universities to deliver our course, but all 34 members attending were from the OPP. I believe the strength of your training is the diversity of your class. Being exposed to other very talented law enforcement who have the same mission, but whose agency may have a different culture. Their varied experiences, opinions, and insights not only enhance your learning, preparation, and perspective, but further develop you into a stronger and smarter leader. This allows a unique opportunity to build future relationships that you can call on when you take on the many challenges you will face as a command leader. Believe me, trusted relationships you made during this school will pay enormous dividends in the future as you take on more and more responsibility and accountability with your own agency. Please take advantage of those relationships. You will be far better for it. I am excited for you and somewhat envy the leadership challenges you'll face and overcome as you continue your leadership journey. Having said that, I remember what Joshua Marine once said, challenges make life interesting, overcoming them make life worthwhile. Having the distinct pleasure of sharing a couple of brief days with the class members, I know this for a fact. You're all up for the challenge. Today, there seems to be a leadership vacuum created by a lack of heroes, role models, mentors, and trusted leaders. As a result, people have seemed to gravitate towards a sense of entitlement, which has created a culture of mediocrity that has flourished and comes with second best, good enough, and average becoming inevitable byproducts. The demands on leaders today have never been greater. You have the opportunity to not only accelerate your leadership, but make a significant difference and change. When you represent yourself, your family, your agency, your community, and of course the men and women who have entrusted you to lead, when you're responsible for the very fragile public trust and confidence, for sending men and women into harm's way, for setting the example by being the example for an entire community, there is absolutely no room for entitlement, mediocrity, second best, or just good enough. Great trusted leadership is and should be the minimum standard of acceptability for you, period. As far as leadership goes, you can be as great as you want to be. You can set high standards coupled with high expectations of yourself. So take a pause and ask yourself, how do I make greatness attainable with respect to my leadership? We have all experienced the absolute best and worst of leadership. We know there is much to learn from poor leadership. We don't need to focus on them. If you need a poor example of that type of leadership, there are plenty of examples to go around. Today we'll focus on great leadership. I found great leaders are trusted leaders who empower and inspire people to reach beyond their own perceived limits to become the very best they can be, regardless of the situation or circumstance. Great leaders are ordinary people with extraordinary ability to make a difference and have a significant positive impact beyond their presence. Over time, I have found great leaders have very distinctive character traits. I will attempt to articulate and share 3 of those characteristics with you today. As the next generation of great leaders, I hope that you can use these as guideposts and a reflection tool that you can measure yourself by. Firstly, character counts. Character is who you really are. Reputation is who people think you are. Impeccable character is a critical trait of great leadership. Great leaders have a steadfast adherence to an enduring set of core values that are non-negotiable. Their core values define their conduct and behavior regardless of the situation or circumstance. It is essential that people know where their leaders stand in times of convenience and, much more importantly, in times of controversy, adversity, and chaos. Enduring core values keep leaders grounded and genuine. It makes their handshake much more than a greeting, but rather a commitment to authenticity. They form the foundation of consistent choices and decisions. When applying the same set of high personal standards to every situation, it doesn't make it easier, but it makes your choices and decisions simpler. It allows great leaders to be worthy of confidence and trust. And as we all know, without trust, there is no leadership. Character leaders have proven time and again that living by a strong set of core values and removing the concept of winking and blinking, they have created an admirable barrier from moral bankruptcy and corruption that others find themselves falling victim to so easily. While strong core values don't make you perfect, it sets you up to successfully handle any situation. And while you may stumble and make mistakes, it allows you to take ownership of those mistakes, learn from them, and move forward. Great leaders seem to have the ability to do the right thing at the right time for the right reasons, because they have an honorable mission and a pure agenda. This is no accident, nor is it easy to stand above the sea of sameness on your principles and core values, but it is essential to great leadership. Secondly, service of others first. Great leaders make it a priority to serve others before themselves, being accountable for their actions and the actions of others, putting the interests of those they serve front and center, being willing to make sacrifices for those they serve. Eating from the helmet is a common phrase utilized by great command leaders in knowing, understanding, and caring for those they serve. Great leaders eat from the helmet. Leaders often become disconnected with the front line by losing touch, getting distracted, and shuffling their priorities of what's really important. Great leaders don't have that problem. They understand without those they serve, nothing works. They stay focused to ensure the connection is alive and well. Serving others doesn't mean sitting in a corner office, banging out memos, and hoping for the best. It's about being on the ground, talking to and listening to the wants and needs of those you serve. Whether in a celebratory moment or in the face of adversity, they take time to make a personal phone call, send a handwritten note, or take time to sit with a person, making a commitment that they care more than most people thought possible. Serving others means ensuring people feel valued, using words that bypass their mind and go directly to their heart, making their contribution matter, empowering and inspiring them beyond their own capabilities. Great leaders have an uncanny knack of recognizing and rewarding effort that goes above and beyond expectations. There is always time to say thank you. Treating people with respect and dignity, regardless of who they are or the circumstances they find themselves in, isn't a one-time thing, it's an all-the-time thing. Doing even the little things for those that can do nothing for you not only gives you great satisfaction, but also makes an incredible, impactful difference in the lives you serve. Great leaders serve selflessly, with humility and sacrifice, always giving more than they take. In good times, they take 2 steps backwards. In times of adversity and chaos, they take 5 steps forward, doing it fearlessly and instinctively. Serving others before self is an honor and yet another critical characteristic of great leadership. Thirdly, exceeding expectations. Great leaders work tirelessly to maximize their potential by overcoming perceived limits and removing barriers, striving to exceed expectations. Over-delivering is a best practice regardless of how small or how large the task they face. They always step up and stand out. Great leaders have developed a fierce desire to compete and challenge themselves every day to be the very best they can be. This is often highlighted by their unbridled energy and infectious enthusiasm. High standards and high expectations they have of themselves become contagious and sets the tone for everyone around them. Having developed a mindset of being comfortable with uncomfortable, they don't panic, but rather seem to rise to the occasion. By taking quit out of their list of options, they eliminate the acceptance of failure, creating an inner confidence of success, never allowing excuses or rationalization to derail their efforts. They turn problems into challenges and opportunities. They are all graduates of the University of Can-Do, as they pursue excellence, never allowing the devil at the door, complacency, to enter. always making the demands of themselves the expectation of others. Great leaders make no apologies for exceeding expectations, and while they make it look effortless, there is an enormous effort, preparation, and self-discipline involved. Exceeding expectation is another essential characteristic of being a great leader. I have attempted to articulate and describe 3 leadership characteristics that are critical, that I have had the opportunity to witness and experience during my leadership journey. Great leaders are the products of great leaders, so I hope that you can utilize these traits as a tool to reflect and challenge yourself to be a better person and leader in both your personal and professional lives, creating even better leaders around you. This is an extremely high standard to achieve. Hopefully it will give something for you to wake up and strive for every day. As I conclude my address, that's the first time I've seen anybody smile, I want to reiterate what a fantastic milestone and accomplishment it is to graduate from this prestigious school with some of the finest members of law enforcement in the country. Class 419, this is just one more step on your leadership journey. It has no destination, but one which will take you down many paths, some willingly, some reluctantly, one that will leave you with great satisfaction and many challenges. You are the architects of your leadership, which the foundation has already been built. Now and as always, you must continue to learn, grow, and develop yourself into being the kind of leader that you admire, respect, and trust. The kind of leader that you want to be led by. As the future of your agencies, never forget that you're being carried on the shoulders of those that have gone before you. Continue to serve with passion, pride, professionalism, honor, courage, humility, selflessness, sacrifice, commitment, and distinction. It won't be easy, but great leadership never is. As I say that, I'm reminded of 2 quotes from the U.S. Navy SEALs that you can take forward from this day, one which really define what you will face as a command leader in the future. The first one is, anything worth doing is worth overdoing. That one is a reminder of how to serve those you serve. Secondly, the only easy day was yesterday. A personal reminder to you to be better than the day before. So Class 419, when your leadership body of work is presented at some future date to the High Court of History for judgment in your brief span of service, will you be judged as a success or as a failure? Only time will tell. However, you're on the path to be judged very favorably without argument or appeal. Thank you for allowing me the distinct privilege of sharing this special moment with you and the honor of being able to say I knew you when. I wish you all the very best. Be safe and Godspeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. It is now time to call the roll of our graduates to honor and recognize the 29 officers who have completed the course of study. We will do so by asking each member of the class to step forward to receive the Center for Public Safety key. The key serves 2 purposes. First, it symbolizes the bond that exists among all who have completed this program. And secondly, it's to honor the dedication and commitment, along with the achievement gained through successful completion of the School of Police Staff and Command, and to link each graduate to the Center for Public Safety and Northwestern University. At this time, I'd like to ask Director Camden and Colonel Trott to step in front of the podium for the distribution of our key. Family members and friends, as I call the roll, you're certainly welcome to come up and take pictures. From the Murfreesboro Police Department, Christopher D. Ashley. From the Ocean Springs Police Department, James W. Billingsley.
Thank you.
From the Tennessee Highway Patrol, Jeffrey S. Boyd. From the Missouri State Highway Patrol, serving as the class recording secretary, Steve P. Davis. From the Greenville Police Department, Timothy P. Davis. From the Goodlettsville Police Department, Thomas J. Deloach. From the Tennessee Highway Patrol, Jeremy S. Edwards. From the Louisiana State Police, serving as class treasurer, Kelly A. Feet. From the Tennessee Highway Patrol, Charles A. Forsyth. From the Arkansas State Police, Jamie E. Gravier. From the Tennessee Highway Patrol, Nathan W. Hall. From the Murfreesboro Police Department, Rico A. Hathaway. From the Missouri State Highway Patrol, Ben C. Jones. From the Tennessee Highway Patrol, Kevin S. Kimbrough. From the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office, Joseph H. King. From the Nashville International Airport, Department of Public Safety, Christopher D. Coolman. From the Tennessee Highway Patrol, John W. McFarland. From the Tennessee Highway Patrol, Jason L. McGee. From the Tennessee Highway Patrol, Roy F. Mills. From the Ocean Springs Police Department, Matthew A. Morvant. From the Tennessee Highway Patrol, Carly Nutt. From the Tennessee Highway Patrol, Billy C. Pierce. From the Arkansas State Police, serving as Class Vice President, Scott O. Russell. From the Metro Nashville Police Department, serving as Co-Activities Director, Taylor C. Schmitz. From the Arkansas State Police, Noah T. Shore. From the Tennessee Highway Patrol, Wayne M. Tidwell. From the Tennessee Highway Patrol, serving as Class President, Vincent G. Torosi. From the Clarksville Police Department, Leanne R. Wilson. From the Tennessee Department of Public Safety and Homeland Security, Dewey V. Woody, also serving as Co-Activities Director. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Class 419. I would be remiss if I didn't, on behalf of the graduates, acknowledge the tremendous support that many of our students receive from their spouses or significant others. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that in many cases, completion of this program would not be possible without that support. For students from local agencies, this meant providing a quiet environment in which to study at home. For students who had to be away from their families for 10 weeks, that meant asking their families to take care of home and issues while their absence. To recognize this contribution, I would like to ask all the spouses and significant others to please rise and be recognized. It's my pleasure to introduce the president of the 419th class. The president is elected by his peers during the second week. It's an honor to be chosen, but it's an honor that requires work. The president works with other class officers to help coordinate class activities and serve as the class representative. Please welcome the president of Class 419, Vincent Turosi.
Good afternoon. Before I present my address, our class would like to recognize 27 people of significant importance for which we came to know over a 10-week period of time. You see, prior to the start of class each morning, and just prior to our morning prayer and Pledge of Allegiance, Activities Director Dewey Woody would advise the class on world issues such as military conflicts and fallen officers. Excuse me. We would monitor the total fallen officers for their ultimate sacrifice. You see, in a 10-week period of time, a total of 27 troopers, officers, deputies, and agents have died in the line of duty since the start of our class. A class of only 29 troopers, officers, deputies, and agents. Please rise as we take a moment to recognize those lost during Class 419. This will be followed by a brief moment of silence. July 24th, Lieutenant Donald Meyer, Oklahoma Highway Patrol. July 27th, Lieutenant Aaron Allen, Southport, Indiana Police Department. August 5th, Deputy Jason Fan, Yoakum County Sheriff's Office, Texas. August 6th, Patrolman Gary Michael, Clinton Police Department, Missouri. August 6th, Detective Elias Yarbrough, Abilene Police Department, Texas. August 8th, Corporal Monty Platt, Texas A&M University Police. August 12th, Lieutenant Henry Cullen, Virginia State Police. August 12th, Trooper Pilot Burke Bates, Virginia State Police. August 13th, Deputy James Clark, Quitman County Sheriff's Office, Mississippi. August 17th, Corrections Officer David Torres Chaparro, Puerto Rico Department of Corrections. August 18th, Officer Scott Baxter, Kissimmee Police Department, Florida. August 18th, Sergeant Richard Howard, Kissimmee Police Department, Florida. August 22nd, Deputy Robert Rumfield, Lake County Sheriff's Office, California. August 24th, Deputy Tim Braden, Drew County Sheriff's Office, Arkansas. August 27th, Sergeant Steve Perez, Houston Police Department, Texas. August 30th, Deputy Robert French, Sacramento County Sheriff's Office, California. September 1st, Corporal Thomas Hannon, Dover Police Department, Delaware. September 5th, Officer Bernie DeMaglia, Chicago Police Department. September 7th, Constable Mark Diebold, Tarrant County Sheriff's Department, Texas. September 8th, Officer William Matthews, Wazta Police Department, Minnesota. September 10th, Sergeant Joseph Osmond, Florida Department of Corrections. September 10th, Deputy Julie Bridges, Hardy County Sheriff's Office, Florida. September 11th, Agent Robert Medina, Puerto Rico Police Department. September 17th, Officer Elias Martinez, Metropolitan Transit Authority Police Department, Texas. September 20th, Trooper Michael O'Neill, Michigan State Police. September 21st, Agent Angel Lorenzo Gonzalez, Puerto Rico Police Department. September 21st, Agent Hector Matias Torres, Puerto Rico Police Department. And all those who have passed before, you are not forgotten. Thank you. You may be seated. On behalf of all the members of Class 419, I'd like to welcome you all to this landmark celebration today. My name is Vincent Tarosi, and I had the privilege and honor to be elected class president of SPSC 419. As spokesperson of our class, I would personally like to thank our family members who have been very understanding and supportive of us during this class. We appreciate the significant sacrifices you made, which allowed us to improve ourselves as leaders. And we could have not done this without your help, and we are grateful for that. So we want to thank you, our class, to our families. I would like to take a moment to recognize our elected class executive board who helped make this course such a success. When you hear your name called, please stand. Scott Russell, Vice President and Sergeant with the Arkansas State Police, also known as Grandpa, Assistant Executive Chef, and one of our class chaplains. Steve Davis, Recording Secretary and Lieutenant from the Missouri State Highway Patrol, known for his sincere, caring ways, as well as his dancing skills, and his ability to communicate well with others. Oh, and his nickname, Puddin'. Kelly Feet, Treasurer and Lieutenant from the Louisiana State Police. Besides being known for his financial skills, he was known for his ability at the grill, which earned him the title Chef Kelly for SPSC 419. Taylor Schmitz, Co-Activities Director and Lieutenant from the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department, known for his early 90s very bright neon green and pink shirts. Dewey Woody, our Co-Activities Director and Agent with the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security. Dewey kept us up to date with world events such as military conflicts, hurricanes, great eclipse, and our fallen officers. He and his lovely wife also assisted us with our formatting on our staff study, and we are grateful for that. In addition to their studies, these remarkable individuals, they took on all these additional responsibilities, which were very time-consuming and taxing. And I can assure you these board members worked tirelessly for Class 419. And without their assistance and their contributions, this class would not have been a success. We would again like to thank Chief Superintendent Bob Bruce for his time and the knowledge and wisdom he bestowed upon us today. To the commissioners, colonels, lieutenant colonels, sheriffs, chiefs, command staff in the room, thank you for allowing us the opportunity to learn and grow at Northwestern University's School of Police Staff and Command. And please, be patient with us as we return. We have just absorbed years of knowledge in 10 weeks, and we have a lot of ideas, so we thank you in advance. To Captain Robert Bigham and Captain Stephen Lowry, Lieutenant Shane Stafford, Trooper Bradley Coppice, and the rest of the THP Training Center cadre and the staff, thank you for your hospitality, lodging, and gourmet dining. In the famous words of Captain Bigham, it's not my house, and it's not your house. It's our house. And Captain, you made us feel at home. We thank you. Give me one moment. I only have about 20 more minutes left. We would like to acknowledge our course director, Tom Wilson, who kept us on track. And then also thank the Northwestern University staff and instructors for delivering us a challenging experience. 10 weeks ago, 29 supervisors ranging from sergeant to captain from 5 states and 13 agencies arrived at the THP Training Center. Although quiet at first, we quickly warmed up to each other and created a very good bond. In that period of time, we looked on as 5 hurricanes battered the United States, Mexico, and the Caribbean. We experienced the Great Cloud Eclipse and survived the end of the world just this past weekend. A few weeks into the course, we began receiving comments from multiple instructors. They told us they had never seen a class like ours before in all their teaching years. I knew we had something special at that point. We were told that they had never seen a class communicate so well together and that there was no cliques or dissension among the classmates, that they were at awe at what they were seeing. From the social outings to the class projects, we worked cohesively as a unit. And this is a testament to how great each of you are as leaders. Some of my most memorable moments with Class 419, in no particular order, and without going into too much detail, our midweek cookout at the training center with Chef Kelly, listening to Billy Pierce and Roy Mills on the banjo and guitar, Morvant, AKA One Mississippi, dressed as a stormtrooper in F-Dorm, sorry Captain, a night out at the Grand Ole Opry, the morning prayers and the Pledge of Allegiance, the birth of Scott Russell's grandson, Grayson. Taylor, are you still talking? We had to go there. Hearing that Leanne Wilson passed her captain's exam. Class 419 meeting Charlie Daniels, Tracy Lawrence, Craig Morgan, and Dirks Bentley backstage at the Opry. The FOP concert with Vince Gill and Mark Wills, the aftermath of Lucky's. Squiggly lines in the number 2 stubby. Experienced the Nashville Sounds baseball game with classmates. A new term I learned, woo pig. Trying to reallocate the Arkansas State Police flag while Jamie was sleeping in the barracks and having him wake up as I had it halfway down. Sorry, Colonel, I tried to get it. Steve Davis turning to Dirks Bentley, who jumped in for a photo with us, saying, "Who are you?" And Dirks Bentley turned back and says, "I'm Dirks Bentley." And Steve grabbed him and said, "Come on in here." Jamie's reaction after winning the Green Bay Packers car flags during our weekly raffles, it was not that of joy. Fellow bosses. Attending the Nashville Predators game with classes, finding out that on my Myers-Briggs type indicator that I was an ENFJ. Who would have thought I was extroverted? And finally, my brother, Mr. Secretary Steve Davis, doing the Cupid Shuffle at the Mad Walk. It was my goal that everyone attending SPSC 419 experience the Southern hospitality of Nashville and the great state of Tennessee, and I hope we delivered. While we had fun and enjoyed the camaraderie of outings and weekly cookouts, the coursework was challenging, educational, and beneficial to us all. We just made it look easy. The 582 years of combined experience shared between us provided us with plenty of real-world experience during our class exercises. We survived statistics 1, 2, 3, and 4. We made it through resource allocation and problem employees. We had our challenges with our staff study, but persevered through it. In budgeting, we even found an ingenious way to shave off 2% off of our budgets by having the current command staff retire early and promoting the current and former SPSC graduates into their positions. Just kidding, maybe. In all, the education provided by Northwestern University and the shared life experiences of the class's 29 leaders has provided us with the tools necessary to make a difference in our departments. I hope I have served you well as I have enjoyed the time we spent together over the past 10 weeks. We formed friendships and created memories that will last a lifetime, and for that, I'm grateful to each one of you. So when you leave here today, continue the momentum that started July 24th, 2017. Continue to push yourself and your organization forward. Be the catalyst of change in your areas requiring momentum. Be kind, honest, and humble. Maintain the highest level of integrity and professionalism as you move forward in your careers. Build others up in your department and guide them to excellence, just as our leaders are doing for us. Don't settle for good. Be great. Thank you. It is now my great honor to introduce to you our class Vice President, Sergeant Scott Russell with the Arkansas State Police.
Good afternoon, 419. Hello? Good afternoon, 419.
Good afternoon.
That's a little better. All of our friends, family, distinguished guests, it's a great honor to be here. As Vinny touched on, I don't usually talk in front of one of these, so can you hear me? All right. As Vinny touched on, when 419 reported for its first day back on July 24th, none of us really knew what to expect. We were a group of strangers from 5 different states, and here are these guys throwing stuff at us right and left. One of the first challenging things we were tasked to do was to figure out what we were going to leave for a legacy gift. We had to figure out how we were going to leave our mark and make a footprint in the world. Now, Webster's dictionary defines the word legacy as a gift of property, in particular a gift of money. But it became clear early on to this group, to this class, that we would not be satisfied with just leaving a gift of money and moving on. This class of servant leaders wanted to make a lasting difference in the world, and the legacy gift from 419 would include both making a difference in the life of someone who is less fortunate and also honoring someone who represents the very best core values of a servant leader. Some of those values honored, and you may have heard these before today, include professionalism, integrity, pride, loyalty, duty, honor, and respect. With that in mind, the class began exploring several options that lined up with our core values. Just to name a few during our time together, some things we considered: the 27 police officers that were killed while we were together. 27 out of a class of 29, that would have wiped us out in just the time we were together. That was pretty big on us. That's about 3 officers per week. Some other things we looked at: there was a police canine in a town near us that was killed in the line of duty. It goes without being said that Mother Nature wreaked havoc while we were here. We don't know if that's because we were away not taking care of business or what, but Mother Nature was pretty rough on us. There was a church shooting right here in Davidson County. It's a pretty big deal. We looked at a lot of different things, and a lot of worthy causes were explored. We finally narrowed it down to 2 things. Both of those 2 final options were clearly exceptional circumstances, so we decided to split our legacy into 2 different ways. During our 10 weeks together in Nashville, 419 raised a substantial amount of money for operating expenses and for our legacy project. This was raised in part by hard work and dedication from everyone in the class. Everyone took part of it. We held weekly raffles where people would buy raffle tickets for items that we provided. Some of these items were provided by our department. Most of it our guys purchased themselves and brought in. Every class member contributed with time and money to make this campaign a huge success. And without the efforts of everyone in our class, we would not have been able to have reached our project goals. 419 came together to help each other throughout this course, not only with our classwork, our homework and tests, but also through the times of personal trial and tragedy. With this in mind, we decided to pay it forward. One morning early in our session, I was browsing the local news outlets back home, and no time, it was during a break, it was not during class. I ran across a story that grabbed my attention, so I shared it with the class in email. Again, Tom, not during class. I think it was your class, actually. The headlines of the story read, "Mystery illness leaves Russellville teen in wheelchair." Just out of curiosity, I followed the link on the story and discovered that the teen was the daughter of a Russellville, Arkansas police officer. The teen, whose name is Ivy Aponte, was struck with an illness back in March during track practice. Ivy was a very active and outgoing young lady. She ran track, loved sports, and all the outdoors. 4 months later, by the time we were reading this in July, the illness was still a mystery, and Ivy was now almost completely confined to a wheelchair. You can only imagine what it must be like to be a teen that loves the outdoors, that's very outgoing, and just all of a sudden you're stuck in a wheelchair most of the time. The article spoke of the great love of her father, Officer Robert Aponte, and described how he would go into her bedroom at night and she would be sitting up in the bed crying. That breaks my heart, as I'm sure it does you. The story will touch your heart whether you have children or not, but you can only imagine the heartache her parents must feel watching their child go through this. Most of us in 419 were parents, and yes, some grandparents. To see this robust teen stricken with this illness touched everyone's heart. The fact that her father is a police officer just drove the tragedy home to each of us. Ivy could have been daughter to any one of us in this class. We followed Ivy's progress throughout this battle. Local doctors in her hometown were still not able to pinpoint exactly what's wrong with her. She's been sent to the Arkansas Children's Hospital, to the Shriners Hospital in New Orleans, and additional hospitals. And to this day, they haven't exactly pinpointed what's wrong with this young lady. Obviously, their medical bills are piling up, not to mention the cost of travel, transportation costs, lodging, meals. A lot of things add up quickly when you have a need like this. The impacts of such an illness can be financially devastating. The sudden onset also has hidden costs that one may not think about. A wheelchair ramp, just things that you don't usually think about. This family's having to all of a sudden get out and find. The last we heard, Officer Aponte was still having to carry her out and put her in the car. They don't have a wheelchair ramp at home. They don't even have a vehicle that's equipped for a wheelchair. No one saw this coming. It was a sudden tragedy. So to help offset some of the medical expenses to assist this family in need, SPSC 419 will be issuing a check today to Ivy and the Robert Aponte family for $2,500 to be used in any way that the family needs it. I wish they could be here today, but Ivy's not in any condition to be traveling, but our thoughts and prayers will continue to be with you, Ivy, for a speedy diagnosis and recovery. Now for the second part of our legacy, 419 decided to honor someone who exhibits the leadership characteristics defined by graduates of the Northwestern University School of Police Staff and Command. Such traits will include honesty, loyalty, integrity, dedication, faithfulness, and a passion or a love for life. This person should be kind and gentle, strong and firm when needed, but should have a heart full of love for all people. I think the Apostle Paul summed up these traits and the traits of a servant leader very well in his letter to the church in Rome. Reading from Romans 12, 9 through 18 from the Common English Bible. Don't just pretend to love others, really love them. Hate what is wrong. Hold tightly to what is good. Love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. Never be lazy, but work hard and serve the Lord enthusiastically. Rejoice in our confident hope. Be patient in trouble and keep on praying. When God's people are in need, be ready to help them. Always be eager to practice hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Don't curse them. Pray that God will actually bless them. Be happy with those who are happy and weep with those who weep. Live in harmony with each other. Don't be too proud to enjoy the company of ordinary people. And don't think you know it all. Never pay back evil with more evil. Do things in such a way that everyone can see that you're honorable. And this passage gave me great pause reading it, knowing the man that will be receiving this part of our legacy. As I read it over several times, I couldn't find anything that did not apply to this man. And that's pretty outstanding. This man walks the talk and he embodies the spirit of what a true leader should be. So it was pretty simple. The search for the face of our legacy was a man that walked among us every day. This man never met a stranger. To this day, he still doesn't meet a stranger. I've had the opportunity twice this week to be present when a stranger was introduced to this man. And those two people walked away and they were talking about, wow, what a man. You spend a minute or two with this guy and he makes a mark on your life. When you walk away saying, that guy's squared away, what an incredible person. I just want to stay back there and hear him talk. That's pretty significant. Every time you meet this man in the hallway, outside, or anywhere during class, he would take time out of his busy day to talk to you. He'd always ask you if you needed anything and to encourage you. His hospitality is as genuine as his beautiful smile. And I remember this gentleman saying more than once, and I think you've heard this today, this is not my place, this is not your place, this is our place. Another particular day stands out in my mind. I actually took the time to scribble a note down about this. One day back in August, I left the classroom, was headed back over to the main building. It was raining that day. I think Hurricane Harvey was making its way through here, through the Mid-South. This man, instead of getting in his vehicle out of the rain, he stopped, flashed that big smile. We're standing there in the rain. I'm thinking, come on, man, you know it's raining out here. He said, I want you to remember something. A leader is who you are all the time, all day, every day. You have to live it to be it. You're off to a good start just by being in this class. But remember to be that example every day, and you will be successful. My encounter in Words of Wisdom is just one small example of the thousands of encounters that officers have had with this man over the past 30 years. This man is known and loved far and wide, regardless of the agency you work for. If you ever have the pleasure of meeting him, you'll never forget him. This man has worn the badge of the Tennessee Highway Patrol with pride and dignity for 31 years. His scars of leadership run deep, and he wears them well. If you were to search for an example of what a trooper should be, you would find a picture of this man and a bio of him next to it. For the past 20 years, he has been directly involved with or in charge of the training for pretty much all Tennessee State Troopers. If you stop and think about that, everyone that works for THP that has come through their academy since the late 1990s, they not only know him, but they've had the benefit of his knowledge, wisdom, experience, and leadership. Even those that didn't come through the academy, such as us at SPSC, or in-service trainings, they've had just the great benefit of meeting this man and getting to know him. He's had a profound effect on the face of this agency for the past 20 years, and the Tennessee Highway Patrol is truly going to miss this man. So at this point, I'm sure most of you in the room already know who I'm referring to. Captain Robert Bigham is a fellow graduate of the Northwestern University School of Police Staff and Command. Captain Bigham has paid that forward by being directly involved with and overseeing 19 sessions of this school since then. During this time period, he has interacted with countless troopers, officers, and deputies from many states that have come through this class. It doesn't matter what agency you come from, your rank or lack of rank, Captain Bigham always has time for you and words of encouragement to share. In fact, many of his sayings have become famous, and they're fondly referred to as Bighamisms. I could talk about Bighamisms the rest of the afternoon. I just want to share a couple that I remember. A sermon seen is better than one preached any day. You're writing a book every day. The question is it worth reading? Do what you can for those you can. Lead all day, every day. One he just mentioned a few minutes ago. If you're on time, you're late. And my favorite, teamwork makes the dream work. As you can see, Captain Bigham is clever with his words. But these words reflect a profound wisdom, and they stick with you. But I'm going to caution you, he's not all unicorns and rainbows. There is another side to him. He can reach down and rattle the very core of the best Marine Corps DI out there. Trust me, I've seen it and I've heard it. We had the pleasure of seeing that a few times here. THP began a new recruit school while we were here at this class. I remember one particular time we were in the chow hall one day eating. They assembled the cadets over in the classroom next door to us. And Captain Bigham was standing there talking to us, and he kind of grinned and said, "I got to go get me some." We all knew what that meant. If you're a trooper, I promise you know what that means. Just a few moments later, he walked through the door, and you could hear those cadets snap to attention and hear that voice booming, and I'll tell you, I'm glad I wasn't in that room. But this is the mark of a true leader and a fine man. Captain Bigham has that exceptional knack that so many aspiring leaders seek their entire career. He knows when to bring it and to correct you so that you remember it. But he also knows when to pull out the compassion and encourage you when you're struggling. This is a balance that many leaders never acquire, but Captain Bigham, you've mastered it. I sat down with Captain Bigham a couple of weeks ago to get some insight on what he thought about being a servant leader. And Captain, I apologize for deceiving you. I know I told you I was writing a paper, but I hope you understand. I want to share just a few things he told me that day. Always believe in you and trust yourself. Even when the world may not, you have to believe in you. To be a good leader, you must first be a good servant. You need to bring someone with you by training someone that you trust. They will take your place one day, and you can leave your principles and legacy instilled in them. Always set the standard by being the example of good behavior. Always be fair with people, everyone, the public, co-workers, your friends, family, everyone. You have to exhibit your core values both on duty and off duty. A good name is obtained by many actions, but it's lost by one. If you stop for just a moment and think back to that Bible passage I just read, it sounds a lot like this man, don't it? It really does. This is one thing that I didn't have prepared in my speech, but I want to share with you. Jamie and I were discussing yesterday. Just to give you a little more insight on this man. He brought us a hanger yesterday. Captain Bigham apparently came to the Arkansas State Police to help us with our promotional process several years ago and stayed at the Holiday Inn. He mistakenly took one of their hangers when he left. He still had that hanger and brought it to us and said, "You guys get that back to that Holiday Inn." So, Captain Bigham, after reading this list, sir, you have mastered the art of being a servant leader. These are just a few of the things that I had the honor of learning from this man. However, Captain, we thought you'd like to hear a few things that others will forever remember about Captain Robert Bigham.
When people hear the name Robert Bigham, the one word that comes to my mind is inspirational. Loyal. Trendsetter. Care. Constant. Accommodating. Forgiveness.
Humble.
Caring. Professional. A leader. Lover. Dedicated. Caring. Diligent. Mentor. Leadership. The standard. Compassionate. Father.
And not father figure. Robert Bigham's my dad. He's not answering the calls from Mark Holy show calls, or mom for that example, but he's my dad. And I wish you well. I love you, Daddy.
Strange. Beacon. Oh Lord. Legend. Dedicated. Selfless. Awesome. Heart.
Compassion.
Friend. Dedication.
Loyalty.
Fair. Compassion. Amazing. Commitment. Integrity. Mentor. Caring. Integrity. Friend. Sharp. Survivor. Intense. Ears. Integrity. Respect. Inspiration. Commitment. Consistent. Hey, you. Strong. Sensual. Charismatic. Mercy.
Darling.
Loyalty. Terror. Friend. Encouragement. Sweet.
Kind-hearted.
Perfection.
Dedicated.
Enthusiastic.
Legendary. Captain Bigham, as you can see, many words encompass who you are as a leader. Some of the most prominent are professionalism, integrity, pride, loyalty, duty, honor, respect, friend, humble, dedicated, passionate, and legend. Thank you for all you've done for us for class SPSC 419.
Captain, you're on that train. We're not done with you yet, boss. After such a dignified career, it didn't seem right to usher this fine man out of the door in typical fashion with just a watch, a plaque, maybe a short party full of well-wishers and a cake. With this in mind, 419 decided to keep the legacy of Captain Robert Bigham going for many years in the future by creating the Captain Robert Bigham Leadership Award. To be nominated for this award, a candidate must exemplify the characteristics of a true leader as established by the Northwestern University School of Police Staff and Command Class number 419. These characteristics mirror the traits of Captain Robert Bigham and include professionalism, loyalty, integrity, pride, dignity, honesty, duty, honor, respect, and courage. Members of the Tennessee Highway Patrol will nominate one person of any rank that they feel are worthy of this award. The nominees will exhibit all the aforementioned traits and excel while performing their duties as future leaders in their communities. The nominations will then be sent to our class officers, and we'll distribute those to Class 419 via email. Class 419 will then vote for and approve the recipient of this award every year. The recipient will be invited to the Tennessee Highway Patrol Annual Awards Banquet to receive this award. The award will include a plaque commemorating the event and special recognition at the awards banquet. Colonel Tracy Trott has graciously agreed to give the recipient a seat at an upcoming Northwestern School of Police Staff and Command. Plus, at least one member from Class 419 will attend the awards banquet each year to present the award on behalf of the class. The funding for this award was part of the overall money raised by the class. In addition, a challenge coin will be issued commemorating the lifetime achievement of Captain Robert Bigham. The coins will be sold, and all the funds raised will help ensure that this award commemorating the legacy of Captain Bigham will exist for generations to come. Captain, would you take a moment and please listen to what Commissioner Perkey has to say?
I'm not able to be with you this week for the graduation and the presentation of the Robert Bigham Award because of things that I already had scheduled in East Tennessee. But I want to take this opportunity to let everyone know what a special man this guy is to me. We attended the Highway Patrol Academy together in 1988, so that means I've known Robert for almost 30 years. To say that he is the epitome of a person that you hope to develop from a staff and command school is an understatement. This man has it all. When I was a county mayor, I used to say that generally you have people on your staff who are very good with people, or they're very good with the technical day-to-day of the job. Rarely do you have somebody that has both. Captain Robert Bigham has both. I'll miss you, my friend. I wish you the best. I'll be following you in about 15 months on retirement. And I would normally say that you taught me everything I knew before I advanced in the department. But Major Tony Barham, now Lieutenant Colonel Tony Barham, he started saying this when he was a major, tells everyone that he taught me everything that I knew while we were in the academy. So he got ahead of you there. But you certainly were standing right there beside him. Best wishes, what an appropriate award, and I wish you nothing but the best, my friend. Happy retirement.
Captain Bigham, several weeks ago, I don't know if you remember this, we were talking about Major Forrest Marks, and you mentioned something about you need to ride that train. Don't you just need to ride that train? Sir, it's been an honor to get to know you over the past several weeks, and I want you to know that I'm proud to have had a seat on the Robert Bigham train. Yes. On behalf of Class 419, it's our great pleasure and honor to present this legacy in your honor and this plaque commemorating this event. If you'll step forward, I'm going to read the plaque before we present it. Captain Robert G. Bigham, In recognition of your 31 years of service to the state of Tennessee and your commitment to the education of law enforcement officers, SPSC 419 recognizes you as an ambassador of the Tennessee Highway Patrol. You have cultivated and fostered an atmosphere of compassion, camaraderie, and cohesiveness that can only be described as legendary. Your exceptional ability as an educator of law enforcement for the past 20 years, your personal initiative and unwavering devotion to duty are in keeping with the highest traditions of the Tennessee Highway Patrol. We hereby create in your honor the Captain Robert G. Bigham Leadership Award. This award will be presented to a trooper each year who exhibits THP core values, community service, and peer leadership, which meets or exceeds the high moral and ethical standards for which you have established for all troopers to follow throughout the state of Tennessee. This award is presented the 29th day of September of the year 2017.
As Vinnie reflected upon some of the events during the past 10 weeks, I know that there are many individuals today who were recalling their own experience during their SPSC time. To recognize that tradition now, I would like to ask all the alumni of our SPSC program to stand and be recognized, please. And thank you for being here and your continued support. It is now time for the only award that is given during our SPSC program, and that's the Franklin Kreml Leadership Award. The award is named after Frank Kreml, who founded the Traffic Institute, now the Center for Public Safety, in 1936 and served as its first director for 19 years. The Kreml Award is chosen by members of the class. The recipient is chosen by members of the class for their leadership in honor of Franklin Kreml, who was a visionary when it came to traffic safety. And the recipient will be announced by our director, Michelle Camden. The recipient, once again, it's chosen through secret ballot, and we would like to make that honor now.
So the Kreml Award, the criteria for this award are things like a scholarship, dedication, devotion. I feel like we should change the name of the award given the last 5 minutes. Unbelievable guy. But someday, maybe you'll have your own award like this. Anyway, back to Frank Kreml, who did found the Center for Public Safety. It's the one and only opportunity that the class has to recognize one of their own. You guys had 29 individuals to pick from, and it's your opportunity to recognize a leader among leaders. The recipient gets this plaque, and then their name gets inscribed on a plaque that hangs in the student lounge in Evanston. And this award was established in perpetuity by the center's founder. Its purpose is to recognize and thus encourage the high ethical and professional values and dedication to public service upon which the Center for Public Safety was founded. These here honored have demonstrated unsurpassed integrity and dedication. They give promise of success in trusted positions of senior leadership in law enforcement in the high tradition of justice administered by and for a free people. And 419, you have chosen Jeremy Edwards.
I just want to say thanks for Northwestern Command staff for giving me the opportunity to go to school. Classmates 419, appreciate your confidence, enjoyed it, thank you.
Just real quickly, I want to say to all of you a couple of things. One, thank you because you gave me the best job ever. I get to go around and participate in stuff like this all the time. It's fantastic. I love you. I love all that you do. But I also truly love it today because the legacy gift you left behind leaves grown men crying. I was sitting here watching all of you, and I was watching the two of you. And I'm extremely grateful for having been able to participate in this and to have known you for the last 10 years. You are an amazing soul, and it's not that often that we get to say thank you while they're still here, while they're still employed, while they're still doing the great things that we recognize them for. So 419, my hat is off to you. Well done. Congratulations. Best of luck in retirement. So thank you.
The success of the School of Police Staff and Command cannot be attributed to any one person. Rather, it's a combined effort from the people back in Evanston, at the university, and most importantly, our host agency, the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Every year they make our students feel at home, our instructors feel at home. And the words that are spoken by everybody in the staff is just so cordial and polite. It provides an opportunity for everybody to feel welcome, which enhances all of our learning abilities. Colonel, I'd like to thank you once again for the hospitality offered, and thank all of the staff at the Tennessee Highway Patrol. In closing, to members of Class 419, Winston Churchill was quoted as saying, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." I recall this leader's remark to make my final charge to each member of the 419th class. I believe that each of us can make a difference. Perhaps we will not alter world events, but each of us can and does make a difference to the people we meet and to the communities in which we live and work. You have worked hard in the past 10 weeks to acquire knowledge about management principles and their application to law enforcement. Each of you now will return to your individual agencies. Use the knowledge you have gained, apply what you have learned, show your courage, your greatness, make a difference in your agency and your community. You are the future of law enforcement. Use what we have presented to you to become the teacher, the coach, mentor, and the professional that I have seen in each and every one of you. Congratulations, class. It has been a privilege to serve as your course director, and I wish all of you continued success. Thank you. To close our program, I will ask that Scott Russell come forward to offer the benediction.
Mr. Wilson, before we close, we've got just a couple of more things here to present.
Let's see here. Lieutenant Kelly and Lieutenant Davis, could you come down to the front, please? Would you mind grabbing the large one? Captain Bigham, Captain Lowery, and Lieutenant Stafford, would you please come to the front of the stage, please? Right over there where the lieutenants are, I'm sorry. appreciation for your continued hospitality and support of SPSC program and the 419th graduating class of Northwestern University School of Police Staff and Command, we present you with a small token of our appreciation. Thank you for everything you've done for us. Pictures. Chief Superintendent Robert Bruce. If you would, step right down on the podium here. Or, I'm sorry, on the lower step.
I thought they had enough of me already.
I know. Yes. In appreciation for serving as our keynote speaker, we wanted to present you a small token of appreciation. On behalf of Class 419 of Northwestern University School of Police Staff and Command, we thank you. And that's also on behalf of the command staff of Tennessee Highway Patrol.
Thank you. Thank you, Colonel.
You have the floor, sir. Oh, that's it? Yep.
Would you please stand and bow your head with me? Father, we thank you for this special day in our lives. Thank you for this class of leaders and the instructors who both gave freely of their time to this program, understanding that the skills learned during this class will benefit so many. Lord, thank you for people like Robert Bigham and letting us meet these type of people in our lives. Lord, help us to remember that we're part of something bigger than ourselves. Thank you for the friendships forged during our time together and the lifetime relationships that have been built amongst a group of men and women who aren't afraid to step forward and say, "Here I am, Lord, send me." Thank you for our families that endured hardships while we were away during this class, yet continue to support us and are here today to celebrate with us. We thank you for our agencies and the leaders in our agencies that enabled us to attend this training. Thank you for Northwestern University Center for Public Safety and all that they do to advance our profession. Lord, we thank you for the freedom to pray and worship you in a free country without fear. Father, please be with the families of the 27 officers killed in the line of duty, as well as all of the officers that have made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms and society as we know it, even in the face of scrutiny and danger. For there is no greater love than this, that a man would lay down his life for a friend. Please be with our country's leaders and our nation as a whole as we struggle with society's issues today. Father, please watch over us and shield us, grant us safe travel as we return to our families, our jobs, and our homes. Please forgive us of our many sins and where we fall short of your glory. Class 419, you've been blessed to be a blessing, so go forth into the world and letting your light shine. And most of all, Father, we thank you for sending your Son Jesus to die on the cross for the redemption of our sins. It is in his most holy and precious name that we pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. Thank you for attending today.